Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis pushing to eliminate property taxes for homeowners, a proposal that a New York Times op-ed warns could cost Republican suburban voters.
So what's driving this plan, and what's his response to critics?
You want to ask him? Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on the couch. Great to see you, Governor,
Good morning,
in person.
Governor. Great to see you.
We have 30 degrees on you guys up here in New York City, down in Florida, just for that.
So
and honestly, we've got a lot on most of the country. I think we're kind of the only ones that are temperate. But so here's the deal. People are being squeezed across America. Property taxes are a big part of that. Why? Because it's an unrealized gain. When home values go up, you can have a home. Now, all of a sudden, you're paying more, even if the local government didn't even raise the property rate. Listen to this. 2019, my first year, and property tax is all local in Florida. We don't get any of it. We have surpluses. We've paid down debt at the state level. We're fine. There were $32 billion in property tax revenue collected in 2019. You know how much they are in Florida now? $56 billion in a 5 or 6 year period. That's almost doubling. So here's the thing. From a growth of government perspective, you can't almost double local government every 5 years. That is totally unsustainable. The reason the spending has happened is because the values are getting assessed higher and they have a gusher of revenue. So here's what our proposal is, and we're still working through the details because we want it needs to work. We're going to have strong police, no one's been stronger on law enforcement than me, strong schools, we're going to do that. But we're going to focus on Florida, homeowners, homesteaded. So like Sean, when he used to have his condo in Naples, he was still a New York resident. They can still tax that, right? But if you're a Florida resident, you get to pick your primary residence, your homestead. We think you ought to own that free and clear of the government. That's a fraction of the overall property tax revenue. So about 70% is non-homestead residents or non-residents, and then commercial. So we're in a unique situation. So much of our taxes are paid by people that visit. And so we have a chance to give historic relief for Florida. We're going to be continue to work on this. We're working with all the stakeholders. We'll work with the legislature. They got to put it on the ballot in Florida, and the voters have to approve it. This is all local. The state does not control property tax, but we're in a position where we can help lead an effort that will give relief to people.
So this issue is extremely frustrating. We have to deal with the same thing in Texas with the property tax. You truly don't actually ever own your home, even if you pay it off, because you got to pay the property taxes. But one of the critics, what they normally say is that if you don't pay the property taxes, then you don't have good schools. What do you say to those critics?
Well, we're going to have all these snowbirds that have these properties, some of these wealthy people that buy these and live in them, you can tax them. You can still do the taxes, what you're doing on Airbnbs.
Right.
There's a lot of ability to tax and be able to raise revenue for the things that really matter. We also have some rural counties. We have 32 fiscally constrained. You know, Miami-Dade, Palm Beach, these are powerhouses. I'm putting in my budget the revenue to totally backfill every one of those rural counties. Wow. So they're not going to miss a single thing. I've got a big surplus. Why would I not do that to be able to help them?
But you are picking favorites. Sean lives there. I have a house there as a secondary house, so I'm still paying taxes. So clearly you like Sean better than me.
Yours is not homesteaded. Sean left New York.
Yeah, I know.
Well, here's the thing. You know, if we were starting a society from scratch, I don't think taxing property makes sense. I think you would rather have consumption. But we are where we are in Florida, so I've got to figure out, because I don't think we could eliminate them for everybody and then deal with the schools. I do think you can do the homestead Floridians, the Florida residents, and be able to get it. So, and here's the thing, young families. So like if you're young, you have young kids, you buy your first house, that value is a lot higher than what it would have been 10 years ago. And that's true anywhere in the country, but particularly in Florida. Well, your tax basis is a lot higher. And so the person that's your next door neighbor that's had a home for 30 years, they're paying way less in property tax because they have the homestead protection.
Could you guarantee that the next governor wouldn't bring back the property taxes? Because when Sean was looking for houses in Florida, he'd say, I love this house, I could afford it, but I can't afford to pay these property taxes in addition to that.
So if this goes to the voters and they approve it, that will be part of Florida's Constitution. So you'll have constitutional protection for your homesteaded resident. And it cannot be undone by a politician. The only way it could be changed is you have to go to the ballot and have the people amend the Constitution.
People will be able to get a better house. It's amazing.
And just think about this, because there is frustration. Some say, well, you know, some guy will come in, he'll buy 12 houses and he'll do Airbnbs or whatever. Well, guess what? Those are taxed.
Got it.
You as a homeowner, a family, you're not taxed. Isn't that a good incentive for home ownership?
It's cutting edge, it's new, it's different, and again, that's your reputation of leaning forward, trying to make things happen. Let's talk about what you think a warning sign is for your party. and that is what happened in Tennessee's 7th District. You said it was a 9-point win, but there are warning signs with the off-year election and with that election. What are the warning signs to your party?
Well, I think a couple things. One, in an off-year midterm, the party in power's voters tend to be more complacent. Party out of power, they get upset, right? That's just the nature of midterms. Right. We saw it when Obama was in and Republicans. So that dynamic is always going to be there. Then I think Republicans have an issue that Donald Trump has created a big pool of voters, but some of them are unique to him, right? So they will go vote for Trump, and they'll vote for all the Republicans when Trump's on the ballot. But if he's not on the ballot, some of them don't vote. Now, you can overcome that. We did it in Florida in 2022. You know, we had a state that was a purple state, 1-point state. We won by 1.5 million votes, 20 points, the biggest Republican victory ever. But we did that based on results and substance. We did it by flying under a banner of bold colors, not pale pastels. We were sticking it to the left every single day and delivering big victories. So it can be done, but I think it's like you can't go on 2024 and say, oh, well, we Republicans won this district by 10 points, so therefore we're going to win it, because President Trump is the reason you won it by 10 points.
What do you say? What is the message? Because the inflation is still high. So far, groceries are a little bit up. Even though they're up only 2%, inflation goes down. What would, if I said right now, give a speech to voters who are on the fence about who they should vote for, what should be the bullet points?
I think it's economy, immigration. Like, we don't talk about immigration as much as we were maybe when Biden was letting it in. The border is secure. We've stopped the influx. He's now working on a moratorium of new people coming in, particularly from some of these countries where the people are hostile. That's a huge victory for people. They need to be talking about that and go even bolder on that. I just think you got to be bold. I think you got to be strong. And I think one of the frustrations with the Congress is, what have they done since August till now? They really haven't done anything, right? And it's like, if I were, I'd be like every day coming out with something new and make the Democrats go on the record, show the contrast. Think about why we've been able to win big in Florida is because there's a very sharp contrast to what we're doing and what what the liberal Democrats stand for. Parents' rights, illegal immigration, you know, tax cut, anything you can think of. Most voters knew we were on their side, and I think you got to really make that sharp. But I would tell you, you know, the Democrats, they caused a lot of this with the inflation, and now they're acting like it was like they had nothing to do with it.
Oh, you do good on the couch. You got to come in more often. Sorry it's so cold.
Thank you so much, Governor.
Yep.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.